Welcome to Macrosystems EDDIE Module 10, Exploring Trade-offs in Water Quality Management Using Environmental Data. I'm going to give a brief overview of the interactive features of this module. First, we'll go through how to navigate the module webpage. There are two methods. You can either navigate the module webpage by clicking on the tabs at the top of the page, or alternatively, you can scroll to the bottom of the page and click on the tabs there to navigate back and forth between the pages. One of the first things you'll need to do when you start working through the module is to select a focal drinking water reservoir to work with for the module activities. You can do this by scrolling down on the introduction page to the third step, Select a Focal Reservoir. When you choose one of the reservoirs in the table on the left, you'll see a small icon pop up on the map and a site photo pop up on the right. Once you've selected your focal reservoir, you can go to Canvas and select the corresponding quiz so that you can answer the questions posed throughout the module related to your focal reservoir. To do this, go back to your Canvas course, and you will see that there are two possible sets of module questions depending on which reservoir you've chosen. I chose Falling Creek Reservoir, so I'll select the quiz associated with Falling Creek. You can enter the quiz, take the quiz, and as you move through the module, you will be able to answer questions associated with your reservoir in the Canvas quiz. If your instructor is not using Canvas to administer this module, you can download a student handout, which is a Word document, in Step 4. If this is the way your course is administering the module, you will simply answer the questions posed throughout the module in the Word document. As you move through the module, you will notice that there are several slide decks that are interactive throughout the module that present key information needed to complete the module questions. You can navigate these slide decks by clicking on the arrows to the left and right of the slides. All questions throughout the module will be presented in green boxes. Again, you will answer these questions either by putting the answers into your Canvas quiz or by answering them in the Word document that you've downloaded from the module. Next, I'll go through some of the interactive module plotting features. If you are asked to plot data from your focal reservoir, you can do so by clicking the Plot Data button associated with the plot window. When you do, you'll notice a plot appear on the right. If you hover over the plotting window, you will notice that several different interactive tools appear in the top right of the plotting window. By default, two of these tools are selected. The first is the Zoom tool. This tool means that if you click and drag to select an area on the plot, it will zoom into that area. To return to the original view, you can either double-click on the plot or click the Auto Scale button to return to the previous scale. The other tool that is automatically selected is the Show Closest Data on Hover tool. This means that as you scroll over the data, a pop-up will appear with the values of the data point that your cursor is closest to. Other tools include the ability to download the plot as a PNG to your computer, a pan button, which means that instead of zooming in, if you click and drag, the graph will move, a box select button, lasso select button, zoom in, zoom out, reset the axes, and then a compare data on hover button if there are multiple types of data displayed on the plot. If you need a refresher on any of the interactive features associated with the module, you can scroll to the top of the module webpage and click on the Help button. This will enable a series of interactive pop-up boxes that will refresh you about the interactive features of the module, and you can move through this little self-guided tour to refresh yourself about how the module works. When you finish all the module activities, don't forget to submit your quiz to your instructor, whether that be via Canvas or by submitting the Word document that you've downloaded from the module. Thanks so much for your attention, and thank you also for participating in Macrosystems EDDIE Module 10.